What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. It's the Kneejerk stream. The game week isn't quite over yet. There's been 4 games today. There's still 2 games to go tomorrow as well. Obviously, we're recording this on Sunday, as always. Slightly later time today. So I know I said last week I was going to do 8 o'clock all the time. But then I remember there was a game till 9 o'clock, or basically the Leicester game has just finished. And it's going to be the same next week. So I thought we would do 9 o'clock today. How's it going? What a weird game week. I own James Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin, and I feel like I've had a pretty bad game week. I've thought about -4s, -8s, wild cards. We'll talk about all that in a bit. And he's going to be so smug after the Calvert-Lewin hat-trick. But it was all kind of washed away by Son's 4 goals. Harry Kane's 5 attacking returns. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Made worse by the fact... I know I said this about Digne before game week 1, but... I even said on the team selection video, I'm thinking about doing Pulisic back to Son. Obviously, for those who watched the deadline stream, I did Son to Pulisic at 10:59 on Game Week 1 deadline. Super frustrating. But for anyone that kept him, 500,000 managers sold him, by the way. But for anyone that kept him, well done. Absolutely ridiculous. Adam already in with the super chat. If anyone's wildcard and put in as many players that will rise in value as you can, e.g. Son, Justin, and then change that to what you want last minute. It's free transfer budget boost. Absolutely. But you remember, they got to rise twice to get any money. But yes, that's a good thing to do. But don't take out any players that are going to go down in price because you'll lose money on them. Don't take out any players that have already risen in price because you'll lose money on them that you want to keep, of course. Son, any Son owners... Absolute legends. Thanks very much for that, by the way, Adam. 70 points is that good. We should start blocking people that say stuff like that. I've got 100 points. I'm not quite sure if it's a good score this week. Of course, 70 is good. 70 points is pretty much decent in every game week. Although obviously it's all relative, but still. 86 points waiting for Justin and Son bonus. I cannot believe Justin has got another bloody attack and return. Absolutely ridiculous. But 4 goals and nothing for Jamie Vardy. That's quite nice. Son to Pulisic, yes. But that was in Game Week 1. That wasn't this week. So I did Pulisic to James Rodriguez. So I'm not that bothered about it this week. It's quite nice. Camera lagging, yeah. Welcome to my streams. Welcome to my shoddy internet. It's super frustrating, I know. I'll moan about it every single week. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. The price drop was deja vu. Yeah, I did say, like a lot of people, you shouldn't make all your decisions based on price drops. I know I did 2 moves to dodge price drops, but if I'd had Son, I would have probably kept. Like Che Adams, for example, I'm probably going to keep him this week, even though he looks like he's going to drop in price tonight. Got Justin, Son, and Calvert-Lewin. There must be some big scores out there. I don't even know what my rank is. I've not even checked, to be honest. I'm trying not to check my rank too often, especially during the game week, because my game week basically finished after the Liverpool-Chelsea game. I've got no one in the Leicester game, no one in the City game, no one in the Sheffield United-Villa game either. So my game week's over with 3 games left. There's no point in checking my rank and then seeing how much it hurts when City go nuts or whatever. But yeah, let me put the team up. I just realised I've put it out for next week. Let's see the dregs for this week. So I'm on 54, but I took a 4-point hit. So I did bring in Lucas Digne in the end. Now, a bit annoying because he didn't get any returns and they obviously conceded twice to West Brom. But for anyone that watched that game, Lucas Digne was brilliant. He hit the bar from a free kick. He could have got some open play assists. He made so many runs that James Rodriguez on another day might have picked out. He was constant. Obviously, they were down to 10 men, I know. But overall, I'm pretty happy that I brought him in. Even though for a hit, it's always a little bit risky to bring in defenders. But it is what it is. I played Shaw. Rubbish. Man United awful. Nuts, how's it going? Nuts. Get rid of Martial for Game Week 3. Who would you replace? Why do you want to get rid of Martial? I bet you've only just brought him in. This is the thing about knee-jerking so heavily in Game Week 1 and Game Week 2. Like last week, Salah's the man. I'll sell him for Mane. Well, Mane's just got a brace. I'm going to bring in Man United players. Wow, 1 blank, you're out. Son, 1 blank. Southampton next. Get rid of him. He just scored 4 goals. Why are you getting rid of Martial? I get it, Man United weren't good. But surely they're not going to be that bad again. Not that, I mean, Brighton are going to give Man United a hell of a game, especially if Lamptey's fit. Imagine Lamptey up against Shaw. I'm worried about that, to be honest. But this is my team, so I'm all out. I can see the internet, by the way. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. Super, super frustrating. But this is my team. Hopefully the audio is okay, at least. This is my team. St. Maximin went off injured. Che Adams, how does Che Adams not have a goal yet this season? Honestly, I know what some of the comments are going to be. He's a bad finisher, etc., etc. Great save from Lloris, great save from Guaita in the first game, great block by Ben Davis. That guy already has like something like a 1.2 expected goals for the first 2 games and got 0 goals. They're coming. Burnley, he's going to drop in price though, which is super frustrating. But he's got Burnley away up next. They just conceded 4 to Leicester. I'm not saying they'll do that at home, but I thought Che Adams was one of the best players for Southampton today, up until Son started scoring 4 goals. And then he's got West Brom at home, so I think I've got to keep. If I'm not wildcarding, I think I've got to keep him. I'm going to talk about some of my moves in a minute, though. I got to be honest, I'm kind of all over the place with my moves, because obviously the Aubameyang to Sterling De Bruyne move was on, but now I'm thinking, could I spread that money even more? But yes, I'm going to be patient. Patience is key at times. Not all the time, at times. Is Salah overpriced? Salah might even be my captain this week. You need a cheap mid, but you don't want Saint-Maximin. I'll tell you now, who everyone's going to go for is Podence at Wolves. And I know one of my patrons, I saw it in Patron Slack chat. I can't remember who it was. Blue Wolf, maybe? Let's have a look. Yeah, can we discuss Podence during the Kneejerk live stream, which is now? So I think with Podence, like he's going to be, because Jota's now gone, Podence is going to be a heavy bandwagon. The only thing I would say, and I'm not saying he's necessarily a bad choice, but something to consider, Traore's been playing right wing back. They're going to sign Semedo by the sounds of it. They're going to sign Semedo from Barcelona. So he's going to come in. He's almost certainly going to be the right wing back. Maybe from the off, we don't know. Maybe it'll take a game week or 2. And then once he comes in, Traore's not going to have to play right wing back, so he can go further up the pitch. If they play 3-4-3, it's suddenly Traore, Neto, Podence for those front 3 spots. And if they play 3-5-2, is that going to be Podence? Is it just going to be Traore up front with Jimenez? We don't know for sure. So there is some competition there. But Podence did look to be first choice even with Jota there for that left spot. So I think he's good, and I think the fixtures are really good, but I think you have to prepare yourself for maybe some benchings along the way. If he doesn't get benched, he looks like an amazing option. So I think Podence is okay. He's 5.5 million. Job done. But yeah, him and Neto could play on that left spot with Traore on the right. They could go with Podence and Neto, no Traore. But I don't think Traore is going to miss too many games now. But we'll see. Click, yeah, is another one for Leeds on penalties. Could be an option. If the amount of goals this week is ridiculous. I saw a stat. Who was it? Oh, who's the guy? I don't know if I can remember his name. It's one of the guys that works for Opta. What's his name? He's quite a funny guy. He always posts these ridiculous stats. But basically, this could be the highest scoring... Oh, here it is. Duncan Alexander, of course. Premier League goals so far this weekend, 39. So obviously we're recording on Sunday evening. The most ever on a 20-team weekend is 43. So in the next 2 games, if there's more than 4 goals, this will be a record when there's been 20 teams. That was back in 2011 in February, the one where Arsenal drew 4-4 in Newcastle. So there you go. That could happen. I'll click his 5.6. Yeah, fair enough. He's gone up in price, hasn't he? The price rises, the price falls. They're happening a lot. They're happening a lot. It's clear. It's clear, man. I don't know. I'm always going to get those kind of names wrong. I thought it was Click. I thought it was actually like Click. Click. I don't know. I get most names right, I hope. Johnny needs Sterling 5% versus De Bruyne 33% differential. Don't buy them based on who's differential. Buy whoever you think is going to score the most points. Do not worry about differentials at this stage of the season. All right, just not. Wow, none of my players scored a goal this week. That's a painful stat. That is pretty painful. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it is. But yeah, Johnny, pick whichever one you think is best. Now, Aguero's out. That's pretty damn big news. So in some ways, that kind of you feel like Sterling's now the main goal scorer in that team. So I quite like that idea. And obviously, he was great from Game Week 30 to 38. Not that we should be basing all our decisions on Game Week 30 to 38, by the way, because lots of stuff's happening which didn't happen in those game weeks. But with Aguero out, De Bruyne is almost certainly on penalties. And I'm going to find that very, 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 very hard to ignore. Because City are going to get penalties, just like everyone else in the league. So I think for me, I still go De Bruyne without. I just don't care about the differential. Aubameyang out for De Bruyne or Son. So no word of a lie, Greg. Thanks for that, by the way. I have considered this, and it's a little bit of a knee jerk. Obviously, 4 goals, but at the same time, in my team selection video, I did think about Son. The only thing is, I considered Son because he had Southampton, Newcastle, and then West Ham in the next 4. Now it's like it's Newcastle, then it's Man United, which might not be great by the time Man United are a bit more up to speed. Obviously, if they played them how they played against Palace, it'll be fine. But I think there is a case for Spurs. The good thing is, if they're going to start kind of go to a 4-3-3, which could happen, then he's playing kind of like to the left of Kane, where he always plays, but maybe not as wide, which is what helped him today. But I do look at his fixtures: Newcastle, West Ham, Burnley, Brighton, West Brom in the next 6. That's a pretty damn good run. I genuinely think there's a little bit of a consideration to go for him potentially over De Bruyne or Sterling. A lot of it comes down to captaincy. You shouldn't get him in just because he's got 4 goals, though, of course. But it is a bit tempting. So this is what I've been looking at, right? So annoyingly, if I do De Bruyne, this is why I've been thinking of a 8-point hit. So Aubameyang to Son, Che Adams, who I don't really want to get rid of, but I'm considering it. To Jesus. So I like Jesus now, Aguero's out. And then I'm 0.4 off of it. So I could get rid of Saint-Maximin and play 4-3-3, or I could get rid of Shaw. Or probably Shaw, even though I've had him in since the start. Go down to a 4.6 million and play 3-4-3. I've still got Saint-Maximin, that's the only problem. So I can play 4 at the back, get rid of Saint-Maximin. Or I don't get Jesus, I keep Che Adams. So I do think there's goals coming for him. And then I spent 8.6 on another midfielder. Could be Mahrez, potentially. I could wait till tomorrow and see how they line up. But something like this. So you still have a Man City midfielder in there. Granted, not quite as good as Sterling or De Bruyne. But you also get Son as well. And then you just keep playing 3 at the back. So I bench one of these boys every week. Probably Shaw, for the most part. And just play Trent, Lucas Dean, and Seiss most weeks. So I'll tell you who else I've considered bringing in, genuinely, is Havertz. I know people are going to hate him, but he plays West Brom next. Chelsea aren't going to keep being this bad. West Brom and Palace and Southampton. Don't know, maybe not the worst punt, but I don't know. Or I just stick to the plan, right? So this is the team, and I just do the Aubameyang to De Bruyne or Aubameyang to Sterling, and just keep it like this for now. I think that's probably okay too. Maybe don't overthink it with hits and stuff again. And just stick to the process. Justin isn't getting bonus points. Good. Justin owners have had enough points. They don't need bonus points as well. Get out of it with your bonus points. How many points do I have? It's written on the screen. Chelsea will be this bad till they get the good players back. Let's not forget, right? First game, okay, that was bad. But Havertz played wide. The problem is we didn't get to see enough today. They obviously played... They played to kind of let Liverpool come onto them and kind of look for a counter. And Havertz played central, which is good, but we only saw him for like 45 minutes. This is hard to know. Come on, say it. Thanks, Owen. Zaha looks great. Zaha has looked pretty good. Yeah, I just don't think I can go there. I just don't think I can go there just yet. But I won't just write him off. I would like to see a bit more because it's Zaha. We've seen him do this before. But yeah, he does look good. Is Bamford becoming a solid option? I'll tell you now, I'm going to do this because Jez is one of the patrons for Let's Talk FPL. And he loves Bamford. And he also loves me talking about XG. He loves a good old stat. So let me just bring up Calvert. Let me bring up Bamford. So Bamford... I mean, he did get an assist today, to be fair. Yesterday. Bamford has had 0.14 XG. Non-penalty XG. He hasn't taken any penalties, as it doesn't matter. 0.14. What's he got now? 2 goals? Even Bielsa said, we haven't created enough chances, and we've converted them all. That's not good. Apparently he said that match of the day. So, I'm not jumping on the Bamford bandwagon just yet. I'm going to keep faith in Che Adams. Just saying. Bring in Lingard, Spurs asset. No way. Spurs, though, are one of those teams I need to see a bit more from when all that... Like, when Bale's in there, when Reguilon... Is that how you say it, Reguilon? It's probably not. When they're in, and if they stick to this 4-3-3, I really need to seriously take a look at Spurs, I think. But right now, defence is still pretty bad. But goals-wise, great today. Leeds are massively overperforming their XG. Yeah, they've got like an XG of like 1.6, and they've scored 7 goals. Like, if anything, for me, I think Bamford is Pookie, maybe. A little bit like Pookie. I can't remember exactly what Pookie's underlying numbers were, but he didn't last long. And I feel like the same can be said of Bamford. I know. I think for 5.6, yeah, maybe you just take the punt if you really want him. But they've not. I mean, Fulham was a pretty good fixture, right? Like one of the best fixtures you can have all season, I'd say. Any plans to transfer out Werner? Werner plays West Brom next. There's no way I'm transferring him out. And if I did, who will I get? Like Jesus, maybe. I'm definitely not against Jesus. Martial, no. Man United, not interested. If I can't shift the Man United bias thing this year, when will I ever shift it? Cheltenham's could have had a hat-trick, yeah. And I appreciate what some people said. Like, some of it is down to maybe poor finishing. Like, Ings is a clinical... Hang on a sec. Ings is like a clinical striker. I get that. Oh, I'm just messing with my headphones. But, yeah, I mean, the first major shot for... the first major shot for Adams was a good save by Lloris. At first I thought it was a brilliant save, then I saw it was straight at him, but then the power to get it over the bar from there, so good. Werner to Jimenez. I'm not interested. It's West Brom. It's West Brom. I'm telling you, I'm doing it as well, although I'm not actually making the moves. There's too much knee-jerking going on, right? We've gone from game week 1, Salah's essential, forget Mane. Well, now Mane's just scored 2 goals. Like I said at the start of the stream, all this stuff's happening really quickly. Like Man United were massively essential, then they lose 3-1 to Palace. Don't get me wrong, Jimenez is good and he could score against Man City tomorrow. And he will tick over. I'm not saying he's a bad option, but there's no way I'm getting rid of Werner versus West Brom. He might even be my captain this week. He might even be my captain. Right now it's on Salah, and I've got no issues with captaining him against Arsenal. But Werner versus West Brom. Like... The annoying thing is, Pulisic and Ziyech are probably not going to be back. So it's going to be a similar team. But maybe Havertz plays 9 again. Maybe Havertz plays right and they bring in someone like Giroud and Werner plays left. I don't know. Maybe not. In fact, has Giroud been sold? He might have been sold. I know there was rumours of it. Don't know if that's actually gone through. Abraham, whoever it is. Or they just play Havertz central, Werner and someone on the right. And go like that. But it's West Brom. It's West Brom. I'm keeping Werner. There's not even a question of getting rid of him. I think it's... Like, don't get me wrong, they were bad against Brighton. But the thing is, one of the things that was said after Brighton was that Havertz was playing on the right, and it probably didn't help him, and it probably didn't help Chelsea as a whole. And so he plays central, but then they get a red card after 45 minutes, and that's just game over. So it's very hard to... it's very hard to kind of say too much about Chelsea. I will say the excitement I had pre-season has probably gone down quite a bit. But West Brom, there ain't no one I'm getting rid of before they play West Brom. Not happening. Lamptey got screwed out of at least 6 points. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean, you got the assist, which is nice, but yeah, it does suck that he came off. Havertz is getting benched. No chance he gets benched. He was literally bought off because of the red card. That was it. Should I do a -4 to get Jimenez, Saiss in, and Kane out? Why would you want Kane out when he's just got 5 returns? He's got Newcastle up next. I know the aim is to always find the next big haul, but I would want a player in that's just got 5 returns when he has Newcastle up next. Like Newcastle and West Ham, the next 3, great fixtures. Antonio, by the way, on his own has something like 1.67 XG for the first 2 games, which is ridiculous. That's more than Leeds, more than Fulham. Antonio on his own. He in game week 8, Antonio is coming in. I don't care who, even if I've got Harry Kane up front, he's just scored a hat-trick. Well, that's not necessarily true, but Antonio in game week 8 got a great run of fixtures for West Ham. He's coming in. I can't believe he's dropped to 6.4. Insane. Craig, thanks very much. Unsure on Saiss versus Cody. Well, if you buy Cody, you have the most boring player in the whole game. And if you buy Saiss, you get 15 points every week. So, job done. Dennis Koshi, how's it going? Mitrovic and De Bruyne. Or Jesus and James. Ooh. Jesus. Oh, is that James? Is that James? That's a tricky one. I guess that's Hammers, isn't it? I'd want to see the game tomorrow before we decide that, but I would probably actually... I don't know. If you're not going to captain De Bruyne that much, I think Jesus and James Rodriguez could be better. Why is no one talking about Sterling? I have him for tomorrow. I just think not many people got him in for Wolves away, that's all. I tell you now, everyone will be talking about Sterling this week. Opponents good about it. Yeah, I'm trying to... Yeah, opponents we already talked about. I'm going to stick to trying to talk about stuff we've not already covered. I will go over some ground, but I cannot believe all the Martial out questions. It was one game, like... yeah, how the hell could Cody have more points than Sice? Because he played more games. Sice wasn't nailed on at the start. Then Donker played. I mean, check this season. Look who's got more points this season. Have they continued to lock the price of City United? Ultimately, we don't know. My guess is they locked them until Game Week 1 and then they reset them to 0. And so only new transfers now count. So I wouldn't be too worried about City and Man United players going up. You got 29 points. Yeah, I mean, it's harsh. I mean, I even feel like 50 points is pretty poor this week. But it is what it is. Just look out. You have great Game Week 1, a poor Game Week 2. Nothing to say you can't have a great Game Week 3. I did say this, though, didn't I? I always have a good first game week. Then it slowly goes downhill to about Game Week 5, 6, and I consider just wildcarding. You went Ings to Martial. I hate FPL. But that's the thing, like, one game week. Ings on penalties, by the way. Pretty good. 8.5. Or is it? He's 8.4 now because everyone sold him. Here we go. The discussion, Super Tiger, the discussion of form over fixtures or vice versa needs to happen again. Fixtures ahead of form has driven the market price this far. Aubameyang out is presuming the main scorer for the team struggles. Look, I think there's a couple of things there. One, everyone was going to get Aubameyang out this week, even if he scored like a hat-trick or something. I don't think anyone's expecting him to struggle for the whole season, but he's 12 million. It's a lot of money. You can probably do better things with that money. You know, even getting 0.5 from going De Bruyne or Sterling could be huge. Form versus fixtures, fixtures versus form is never going to... I'll come back to that in 2 secs. Mr. Hahn, Bruno to Son. Come on. Are you serious? You still have AM9 and Spurs fixtures. I'm fine with Bruno to Son if you didn't just do Son to Bruno, because if you did, that is so knee-jerk. But yeah, I think Son plus the money is better than Bruno. I said that last week, so that's not knee-jerk. It's even before the 4 goals. Like, if people have... Like, last week, the only reason I think... like Son to Rashford or Son to Bruno was okay. If you planned that and you had the money, I don't think I would have gone out of my way to do it. I think I said that last week. I do so many videos I forget, but I said a few times to a few people I would have kept Son. I did say it's much easier to say that when you don't own the player, you don't have to eat the price drop. But yeah, I just Southampton, West Ham, Newcastle, 3 great games before. Okay, yeah. So form versus fixtures. The thing is, it's a bit more of a nuance. Wow, that's a big word for me. I should go back to simpler words. Conversation than this is just better or this is better, because people say it and it means different things to them. Like if I have, I don't know. James Rodriguez, for example, is going great guns. Let's say against Crystal Palace and Brighton, he scores an assist. Like maybe he gets another 2 or 3 attack and returns. And then he's got, let's just say for argument's sake, he's got tougher fixtures. Then yeah, I do expect him to get less points. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the transfer to make to get out. There might be other fires to put out or whatever. If I'm bringing in a player, I think a lot of it depends whether you already own the player or not, basically, is what I'm trying to say, short of it. If Callum Wilson has just scored 3 goals in the last 3, but then he plays Liverpool, Man City, Man United in the next 3, then I'm back in the fixtures. If I already own Callum Wilson and he's gone up to 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 million, he's just scored 3 goals, and he's got Liverpool, Man United, Man City, then I'm probably going to hold and hope that he gets something. Not necessarily that I expect it, but that I hope, because the money's there, he's gone up in price. I don't necessarily want to sell him. Maybe I've got other fires to put out. So I think fixtures versus form, a lot of it depends whether you're buying or you're selling, basically, and who the player is. If they're expensive, then maybe it's a bit easier to move them on because, you know, maybe you want a different captain or something like that. So like Aubameyang, for example, the only thing Aubameyang's done wrong is not got us the captaincy hauls that we wanted, right? But he's got a goal and assist, so he's got 2 returns in 2. Now for 12 million, that's probably not enough. But could he get something against Liverpool up against Trent? He could. Then it's Sheffield United at home. If they're no good defensively, like could be this year, not no good, but maybe not as good as they were last year, then that could be a good fixture at home as well. He could get another 2 or 3 returns in the next 2. But it's not really about the form, it's about the fixtures. Overall, they're pretty bad from here on for Arsenal. And Man City players are so desirable. So I think there's a bit more to it than just saying it's form all the time or it's fixtures. Nuanced. Alex, thanks very much. Traore an option again. Wolves are getting Semedo. He might be, but I still think Neto opponents Traore, you're going to see some rotation. I feel like Traore is probably the one that's going to play the most though, right? Because it's either 3-4-3 plays or 3-5-2 plays. He might get the odd rest, but he could now become a really good option. Semedo is the one I want to know the price of. His attacking potential is like he hasn't got too many returns in the last season or so. But I was looking at, hang on, let me bring it up here. So, quite often now, if it's players from a different league, I just use FBref. I think that's what it is. FBref, I guess. I always thought it was FBref, but I've just seen FBref. So, let me just put in Semedo. I don't know how many minutes he played last year. And then Doherty, right? So, Semedo last year, where is he? So his goals, XG and XA combined was 0.14. So nothing special, but Matt Doherty's was 0.22 over the season last year. So Doherty had a bit more of a goal threat, but we know that Semedo is probably going to be asked to be in the box maybe a little bit more than he was possibly at Barcelona. So his numbers aren't that far behind from last year. Not as good as Doherty, don't get me wrong. But he's going into a team that's going to want him to attack. And he's very good defensively. So if Semedo comes in at 5.5 or less, I think I would want him. Potentially even in for sure if I'm going to stick to 4 at the back. Would I change Sice? I won't bother using a transfer on Sice because he's so good for the next kind of 4 or 5 weeks. But I will look at doubling up on Wolves' defence. Yeah, I said that. I was basically waiting to see who would come in. Mass, thanks very much. Doherty, Trent out for Castagna, Justin Lamptey. Nah, come on. Doherty's got Newcastle at home and Trent's got Arsenal at home. You just keep them, right? I don't think they're worth transfers, personally. For everyone asking how many points they got, it's literally on the screen. Is it dumb to be on 2 transfers and still not make any transfers because I'm really happy with my team? No, in fact, that's the most flair thing you can do in FPL. Have 2 free transfers and burn one. That is proper FPL flair. I would say, at this stage of the season, I feel like it's so unlikely that there's not even one thing you could change. But if you're genuinely happy with the team, yeah, save it. Why not? Thoughts on Wilson up front? I mean, he's just got 3 goals. He's got... No, I'm messing. I quite like him, but I don't think Newcastle's fixtures are actually that good. Because I was looking at him, because I was thinking, when I do before Son decided to get like 1 million goals, I was thinking about what I could do with that 0.5 million. This was this morning, before Adams had even played. And I was thinking about doing Adams to a 6.5. But I think with West Brom coming up next, I'll just hold him. But yeah, they got Spurs away, Man United at home, Wolves away in the next 4. I would ignore... This is the thing. He scored in the first game. He's basically scored, a goal every other game so far in the first 2 fixtures. But he's got 3 bad fixtures in the next 4. Badish. We'll have to see if Tottenham can actually keep a clean sheet and if Man United can not be awful. But with Wolves in there as well, I wouldn't be getting Wilson in now. Nick, how's it going? Any chance of mentioning your channel? What is it, the Nick Keeping channel? I don't know. Who do I take out for De Bruyne, Salah or Aubameyang? It's got to be Aubameyang, surely, given the fixtures. Tempted to drop with Werner too. Why are we dropping Werner against West Brom? West Brom. If he blanks, right, and Chelsea are awful, fair enough. But there's no way I'm dropping him. Yeah, go and check out the Nick Keeping channel, I guess. I don't know what channel it is. I could quickly YouTube it. Back pocket itching. Yes, the back pocket. The back pocket wildcard is yeah. I'm thinking, kind of. I've looked at potential wildcards. Yeah, it's the Nick Keeping channel. There you go. Go and check it out. Back pocket wildcard. Yeah, I've thought about it, But I don't know if I would change enough. The thing is, I don't necessarily want to have to massively overhaul my team just to use the wild card. But I do think, and I spoke about this on the last stream, there's going to be a point where maybe Trent Alexander-Arnold, we think about getting rid of him to spread money around. Maybe this is the week. Maybe. No, sorry. Whoa. This isn't the week. That's not what I meant. Maybe at some point in the next few weeks, spread the money around. Go for maybe 2 Wolves defenders plus Luka Dean or whoever it might be. Reece James, by the way. Reece James played again today. Azpilicueta was on the bench against Liverpool. That is promising. Anyone that went for him in Game Week 1, fair play to you, because you now get him against West Brom away. I would love to be able to bring him in this week, Reece James, and just hope that he plays again and Azpilicueta is done. I don't know if it's a fitness thing with Azpilicueta. A lot of Chelsea fans messaged me or replied to my tweet earlier saying it wasn't. He's fully fit, but I'm not sure if that's 100%. I don't know what my overall rank is. I'll put it up on the video on Tuesday. You're selling Werner on a wildcard and we'll buy him back for 0.1 less. Yeah, he's going to fall. I'm going to get a couple of price drops this week, I think. Son's going up, of course. Reece James is going up. Oof, ouch. Werner could drop. And Che Adams, 100%. Che Adams is dropping overnight. I could wildcard and avoid the price drops, but it ain't going to happen. But yeah, Werner, yeah, if you're on wildcard, yeah, sell him and buy him back for 8.4 million. Why not? He looks like he's close to dropping in price. TAA sale before Leicester was yeah, 24 points. Ownership and scoring potential is huge. I know. But there's a lot of attackers. There is a lot of attackers, right? Pulisic, I still want him when he's back. But yeah, maybe you're probably right. For now, you probably don't need it, but at some point, I might do. Rohan, how's it going? Did Aubameyang to De Bruyne? Would you recommend Bruno to Son for a hit? Nah, I don't think I would. Like, why did you get Bruno in? This is anyone that's got Bruno Fernandes. That should be your question. Why did I bring Bruno Fernandes in? What has happened that I now don't want him? One game. He's still on penalties, right? That was probably the biggest reason to bring him in the first place. Here's a stat people will love. Bearing in mind, these are both players that pretty much play 90 minutes every game. Hang on, where is he? Where's Bruno? So last year in the Premier League, very small sample size for Bruno Fernandes. His XGI, so goals and assists combined, non-penalty, because obviously he got a lot of penalties, was 0.4. So that's XG and XA combined, 0.4. Grealish was only 0.35, only just behind him. What if Grealish gets penalties for Aston Villa? Could he be a better option than Bruno Fernandes for 3.5 million less? Maybe. Trent to Trent to James and Adams to Jimenez. Not doing it. I'm not taking a hit to take out Trent to get Jimenez for Adams, but I think Adams will score soon. My only worry is that he blanks versus Burnley and then finally gets 1 goal versus West Brom, and then I still want to sell him, but I've lost 0.1 million. But earlier on, I was very knee-jerky. I'm feeling quite a lot calmer about it now. Whether I get Son in instead of Sterling, I don't know, or De Bruyne, but we'll see. What would your maybe I'll do a wildcard video this week. I'm not going to go for a wildcard squad now because I think without giving it enough thought, it's just me randomly picking players without giving it, like I said, too much thought. I don't think it's just not very helpful, I don't think. You should be on Twitch, but I'm on YouTube. YouTube's where it's at. This is where my audience is. This is where I want to be. This is where we've been for ages. All these goals and we haven't seen Man City play yet. I know. How does wildcard contribute to the Premier League? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Why would you want Jesus over Jimenez? Because he plays for Man City and he gets so many chances. It's unreal. I think the most exciting thing about Jesus, potentially, they might buy someone, of course, but at the end of last season he was playing a lot, but he was getting dragged off quite a bit as well. They had to make sure he was okay, because not only because of the cup competitions they were in, like the Champions League, but also because of the fixture schedule, and obviously they had such a long break as well. You couldn't just play him too much. So I'm wondering now if he gets a few... And to be fair, he did play, I think, 90 minutes in a row quite a few times. So I'm wondering now if he's going to get more 80 to 90 minute games. There'll always be a chance that he comes off. But like last season, right? Let me bring this up here. This is from Fantasy Football Scout now. Come on. Just loading it up now. So last year... Come on. Here we go. His expected goal involvement, right? Goal or assist, 0.9. So nearly a goal or an assist every single game. Or every single 90 minutes he plays. And I think his minutes are going to go up. That was better than Aguero. One thing I will say is his finishing is not as good as Aguero, right? But he gets so many chances it kind of cancels out. Yes, Aguero will be better. But when Aguero is out, Jesus is pretty much nailed. None of this false 9 stuff. It very rarely happens. Jesus or Werner next 10 games. Thing is, are you going to get 10 games out of Jesus? That's the only thing. Because Man City's fixtures are not out. The next 4 are okay. Leicester, Leeds, Arsenal, West Ham. So I do like them. But then Sheffield United away, Liverpool at home, Spurs away. Could be tricky. But then again, it is Man City. So I'd almost be tempted to say Jesus, to be honest. But I still wouldn't sell Werner before West Brom. Okay, Hamza, thanks very much. Does FA Cup games not having replays mean no more double game week? No, I don't think so. It's not usually the replays that cause the double game weeks. It's just getting further down the line into the FA Cup. Because usually, I don't know what the schedule is this year, but usually the FA Cup's on the same weekend as a Premier League game. So the teams that get through to that round, whatever round it might be, like round 5, 6 or whatever, they miss that game, then they have to be rescheduled. Should I make City players my treble captain for the week they play twice? Don't worry about who you should captain in a double game week we don't even know is going to happen yet. That is overthinking to the core. Noise Freak, how's it going? Son in for a hit. Accidentally transferred Werner out for Calvert-Lewin. Accidentally? How'd you do that? Any tips for my wife who's looking to start an FPL channel? Get started. I did a video on it on my other channel. Just get started. That's the hardest thing. Get started, get going, and don't just copy someone's intro like someone has done for me. They've jacked my intro and my thumbnails. Like, I know a lot of people like use similar thumbnails and stuff. Absolutely fine. It's all Premier League colours or whatever. Someone's literally jacked my stuff. So don't do that. But yeah, get started. Honestly, that's the best thing. Son in for a hit. Depends who for. I'm certainly not against bringing Son in for a hit, but it really depends who for. I mean, he's probably not going to get another 4 goals this week, but he definitely could get something. Rafael, thanks very much. If I use my free hit after making 4 transfers, would it cancel? Yes. If you use your free hit this week, in Game Week 4, you'll get your Game Week 2 team back, and yes, it will cancel any transfers you made. You have missed the Son haul, it's true. But there could be more. Not 4 goal hauls. I mean, if he got 4 goals in the next 4 games, that would be a good return. I have strongly considered getting Jesus in, but again, it would be for Adams, because I don't want to sell Werner. And it just doesn't feel right selling Adams when he has West Brom coming up next. But yeah, I basically considered this an 8.5 million midfielder, like Mahrez potentially, but who I'd really like would be Son. I would like him back. But I'd have to get 0.4 from somewhere. I don't know. I'd have to just get another 4.5 million midfielder. I'd have to just get a 4.5. It's not FPL mate, no. There's someone literally taken my intro, like literally taken the intro, and then they've used FPL Tips' logo on top of it, and then used his banner as well. Like, I'm not saying like they've used similar stuff. They've literally used the same stuff, exactly the same. Anyway, you don't need to worry about that. So yeah, something like this. But that's an 8-point hit just to get Jesus and Son in. I don't. Does my team need an 8-point hit? I'm not sure it does. I could just get Son in and do a 4-point hit for Leeds away. Bring Jesus in for Leeds away. But in Game Week 4, when they play Leeds away, could Sterling be the best captain option that week? I think Leeds look pretty fragile at the back. Otherwise, you've got Arsenal versus Sheffield United. I'm not going to own any Arsenal players. And Liverpool have got Villa away. And I want to see Liverpool. I want to see Villa play in the next couple of weeks, like tomorrow and then Game Week 3, and just see how defensive they actually are. Because post-lockdown, they were pretty good, but we've seen a lot of stuff happen that doesn't tie in with what happened post-lockdown. So, I'm not sure I want I don't really want to, necessarily worry about that too much right now, how good Aston Villa might be, but it's something to consider. If not, I might just captain Salah that week. How do you know he's going up and down in price? You can check out fplstatistics.co.uk and that will show you. It'll give you an idea. It's not necessarily 100% accurate, especially now. No, I completely agree. A brace isn't out of the question for Son against Newcastle. Completely agree. Forget Jesus, unless you transfer tonight, you're still losing 0.1. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not going to forget Jesus though, just because I'm not transferring him in tonight. He's someone I like. Neil, how's it going? Bruno and De Bruyne Sterling, or Salah and De Bruyne Sterling? So Bruno versus Salah. Salah. For me. Salah all the way. Why are price shots bad for your team? Just means you can sell those players for less, that's all. They shouldn't base your whole... all your moves shouldn't be based around price shots, but it is something to consider. It's a bit of a pain, but it's just the way the game is. Yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We are here every Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday and sometimes Fridays too. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And hit that like button as well. There's like 4,000 of you watching. So if you all hit that like button, very happy. Job done. Let me just do a quick shout out to the patrons as well. So thanks to everybody that signed up. Basically, these Legends wall, Patrons Legends wall, is everybody that signed up on Patreon. There's a link in the description below. So got a shout out to the new people here, Chris U and Simon B. Thanks for signing up since the last stream, which was on Saturday. So appreciate that. So there's like team reveals. Once my transfers are done, I put it up on Patreon. There's Slack access to Let's Talk FPL Slack. There's WhatsApp, there's extra content, Q&As and stuff. The next one will be up on Tuesday. So if you want to check that out, click the link in the description below. Thanks very much to everyone that's already signed up, and thanks to Chris and Simon who have signed up since Saturday. Very nice of you. Very nice of you. Did I increase my mini league's prize? Yeah, the mini league prize is £250 now, £250. I'm probably going to split that between first, second or third down. I'll lock it at some point as well. I might increase it again if we can hit another subscriber target. I don't know how to do it yet though, or what to do it on. There are some tutorial videos, yeah, I believe, in the members area. Who should I buy to replace Basuma? I mean, unless you're playing Basuma this week, you don't necessarily need to replace him. I have him, and I'm not looking to replace him. I'll just stick him on the bench. I'll leave him on the bench. And to us, he wasn't really going to get many points for us anyway. And if you're playing, Basuma, there's probably something to consider there as well. Could McCarthy be dropped? McCarthy, so frustrating. There was a couple of times. I think it was this. I can't remember which half it was in. It was the first half, wasn't it? There was a couple of times before that Son goal, maybe just once. Don't know if it was twice, but where he came out quick and got to the ball. But for that first Son goal, he could have got to the ball, I think, in enough time and got it away. And he hesitated, and that's basically how Son scored. And it was a good finish, but the goalie should have done better. So McCarthy, could he be dropped? Maybe. It'd be a bit harsher after just one game like that. You know, Burnley away and West Brom at home, could be clean sheet there. If I got one clean sheet in the next two, I'd probably be happy. Alfred, 75 points behind in my mini league. What do? You keep going. You realise it's only 2 weeks in. There's plenty of time to claw that back. Think of it like this. If they've had two such good weeks and they're 75 points ahead, why can you not have 2 great weeks that closes that gap, you know? Might take a bit more than 2 weeks, but there you go. When will I be able to get Bale? I don't know why they haven't priced it. I guess they'll price him tomorrow. Did Werner finish the game with a shoulder problem? I did notice that when he won the penalty, he was clutching his shoulder, but he carried on playing for the rest of the game. So I wonder if that had gone in. The penalty, that is, whether everyone will be talking about Werner so much. Your team will never be really in need of a wild card. No, I agree with that, because we will manage it to the point where we hopefully don't need one. I just feel with the transfer window not closed yet, I want to try and keep it a bit more. You were playing around on your phone, then put it in your pocket. Next thing you know, Calvert-Lewin was in for Werner. Wow, if that's true, that's how not dodgy. How lucky is that? Accidentally transferring in Calvert-Lewin. Wow. Imagine that. Imagine if it had been the other way. Imagine if Werner had scored a hat-trick and Calvert-Lewin got nothing. That would be a killer. Mitrovic, by the way, I would have had Mitrovic. Shouldn't have sold Adams. That's why I'm kind of holding on to Adams and hoping he can do something. How do you make money using wildcard? Bring in all the basically you got to bring in the players that are going up. Hope they go up 0.2 million, then sell them. But obviously, hope that's if you don't want to keep them. Thiago for 6 million. Thiago's not going to be an option for 6 million. He's just not going to get enough goals or assists. He's going to do what he did today. Keep the play ticking over. Some ridiculous balls forward. Job done. Chazza, thanks very much. Phil Foden or Traore for ASM. St. Maximan. If you want to take a bit... Well, I'd wait till tomorrow maybe and look at Phil Foden. But yeah, potentially him. I think, obviously, Foden's got the most upside because he plays in a team that's going to score a ridiculous amount of goals. But Traore could easily get more minutes. Still can't believe Calvert-Lewin was that good. I think Calvert-Lewin might be one of the best Game Week 1 players I've ever put in my side. And he still has Crystal Palace away and Brighton at home up next. And the thing is, he could, like, a lot of people said, well, they were down to 10 men. Well, first of all, he scored before they were down to 10 men. And that header from the corner, from the James Rodriguez corner, was so close as well. Imagine if that had gone in too. Luca Dino was the one I really wanted to get points because I got so much crap for having 3 Everton players, especially when it was like 23 minutes gone. Like, what happened? Yeah, West Brom scored. That was such an annoying goal, that first one as well. But it is what it is. And yeah, so for then Calvert-Lewin to score a hat trick was insane. So good. The weekend definitely went downhill from there though, from an FPL point of view. What are we now for 2 minutes? The Blind Gooner, how's it going? What about bringing in more pay? More pay? Well, he scored today. That rhymes. Please could you give my YTA shout out? YouTube a shout out. Well, it's already shouted out. The Blind Gooner, there you go. You shouted out because of the super chat. What about bringing in more pay? Brighton's fixtures. Let's have a look. Yeah, United at home. I wouldn't be bringing him in this week. Even Everton away, I think could be tricky. The only thing about Everton is defensively, Mina looked a bit suspect, and Pickford makes some good. He's a bit like David Hare, I think sometimes. Makes some good saves, but he makes some awful decisions and some awful mistakes too. But I would maybe look at Brighton after Everton or after Man United. I don't think I'd bring him in this week, even if he did just get 3 returns. Worth selling Doherty and Bruno for Trent and Son. Trent and Son for Doherty and Bruno. If you've got 2 free transfers, I don't think they're the worst free transfers. But again, like it's like everyone that sold players in Game Week 1 that have now scored. The same thing could happen with Bruno. Doherty, how close was that offside, by the way, for Son? He gets an assist for Kane. Maybe the game goes a different way. I don't concede twice. I don't know. I don't particularly like Doherty right now for 6 million in that Spurs side, but Newcastle at home up next. Again, I don't think it's a massive sell for me. Which 6 million under attacker should I get? It might be Ollie Watkins. Watch him tomorrow. Everyone might be bandwagoning towards him. Triple captain Werner versus West Brom. Nah, too much risk involved there, I think. I love him as an option, but not triple captain. Mendy is coming in for Chelsea this week. Bye-bye Kepa. Yeah, I tell you now, if Reece James is nailed on, I've got to look to bring him in at some point. Like, if I'm doing a Aubameyang to Sterling this week, the next week, bearing any kind of injuries or new knee-jerking, like, who did Chelsea have over West Brom? Crystal Palace at home. So if I bring in Sterling or De Bruyne for Aubameyang, then none of my front 6 I'm going to want to sell in Game Week 4 because Calvert-Lewin's the best player in the game. Werner's got Crystal Palace at home. Salah's amazing. I'll have just bought in my Man City player and there's no need to get rid of Rodriguez. And Adams will play West Brom. So hopefully I won't need to get rid of any of these. So then maybe if Reece James plays again, I might look at bringing him in. Even if he's gone up to 5.1. Potentially short of Reece James. We'll see. We will see. I've got to have Reece James if he's nailed on. Fernandes and Martial. Oh my god. Hang on. Is that real? Let me see. All players. Akshay. Sorry, I'll get to that in just a second. Transfers out round. I know. Aubameyang's higher. Aubameyang and St. Maximin are the most transferred out. Is St. Maximin going to fall in price as well? Let me see. St. Maximin 51%. He might fall at some point. I'm going to take some price shops this week. I can see it already. Bruno Fernandes has been transferred out by 100,000 people. That is brilliant. Good. Hang on. Actually, sorry for that. Sace, Marçal, Podence to double up with Jimenez. Sace and Podence probably. It depends. It depends who you're going to put into that attacker. I think double up on defense is good, but if you want another attacker, Podence. It depends whether you need an attacker or not. Keep Mitrovic or switch to Bamford. I think you keep Mitrovic, don't you? I don't really see any reason to switch to Bamford, to be honest. Stephen, how's it going? Podence or Neto? I think it has to be Podence out of the two. Do we know how serious St. Maximin's injury is? I don't think so. I haven't seen anything. Maybe we do, but not 100%. I haven't seen much on that, to be completely honest. I've made no transfer yet. This is my team as it stands. I'm going to eat a few price drops, though, this week. Adam, St. Maximin. Nightmare. Dude, is it fine to wildcard now? If you want a wildcard, yeah. Are you keeping St. Maximin? I am, but I don't have to play him this week. And I don't have to play him next week either. So it's probably a bit easier to keep him. You have Davies. You have Davies, St. Maximin, Basuma, Wickham. I must wildcard. I mean, Basuma and Wickham not going to play for you most weeks anyway. So Davies got Newcastle at home. The new left back might not necessarily play yet. So Maximin might not be injured. Do you have someone else you could play? I don't think you must wildcard, but it's hard to know about seeing the rest of the team, right? Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button. We're nearly on 1,000 likes. There's still like nearly 4,000 you watching. So if you all just hit the like button on the way out, that'd be much appreciated. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to like 150,000 subscribers. Why not? Let's just say 150,000. There's content all through the week and all through every single week for 38 games, including all these live streams. So make sure you do subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't checked out Patreon, check out the links below, patreon.com/letstalkfpl. Your support is very much appreciated. And a shout out once again to all the patrons that are currently signed up. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Like if you haven't already. Oh, why is that not there? Boom, there you go. I've still got the 100,000 up there, not 150,000. But thanks very much. Don't knee-jerk too much. There's still 2 games to go. As always, I'll do my team selection on Tuesday. And then the final team reveal, once I've definitely made 100% my decisions, will be out on Patreon. Yeah, thanks very much for tuning in. I will catch you again soon. Get some sleep. Don't worry about your wild card too much. And I'll catch you later.